Hey everybody, it looks like I am live, which is really very cool. So today I'm doing a very special impromptu live stream. This is something I wanted to do because I just built this customized Xtreme Patriot Arrow. Uh, and I just wanted to show you what this airbrush can do, how wonderful it is, how smooth it works. I mean, it's just a thing of beauty. I mean, the amount of detail. I mean, look at the tiniest of lines. It's really quite fascinating. The amount of detail that you can get with this airbrush. I mean, it really is a wonderful airbrush. And just give you a point of reference, if I have any coins here. I don't, because I'm broke. But I just wanted to show you, the amount of control that you have with this airbrush. Of course, it's blown up right now, so you can see. And if ever you purchase an Xtreme Patriot Arrow from me, a customized Xtreme Patriot Arrow, I put it through its paces. Lots of tests. I test the nozzle. I also go ahead and I test the air valve. I test the needle. I make sure that this thing is going to do exactly what I would want it to do, right? Not necessarily, any kind of standards, but my own standards. And if it doesn't reach my standards, then, I won't send it out. So for me, I think that is key. And the key reason why you should get the Xtreme Patriot Arrow customized by myself. Because when you receive it, as this customer is going to receive it, it is guaranteed to be top shape, right? It's guaranteed to work on every level. It's going to be airtight because I make sure that all the any kind of air leaks are taken care of before I send it out. So you don't have to go ahead and do that yourself. So that's really important. So I wish I had something like this when I was beginning airbrushing, because a lot of times, anytime you don't have somebody who's an airbrush artist who does airbrushing 6 hours a day and is his livelihood, test out your airbrush. And of course, this is the customer's airbrush that I'm testing out. This is how I would test your airbrush. So every time that I do get an order for the Xtreme Patriot Arrow, what I do is I go ahead and, do my refinements, check all the major parts such as the air valve, the needle's working, the nozzle is in perfect condition, all those things just to get it started. And then at that point, I basically work on one of my paintings for about a half hour. So I can say that the airbrush is at my standards of how it's working. And until then, I work on it and I refine it and tune it up until it is actually meeting my specifications. So to me, I think that's the best thing going. If you want an airbrush that is going to be reliable and going to have the best detail for the $150 range. And I ship worldwide, which is great. I have a lot of UK and European customers who take advantage of it, who now own the Xtreme Patriot Arrow. So all those things are real pluses. And I do have several Xtreme Patriot Arrows available. I believe I have like 6 left. So I don't know how long I could stay with those particular prices, but it's a great value, and you know, and I'll tell you, I mean, shipping and handling is only $5.99 international. So I don't know anywhere that actually gives those kind of rates. So you can see how smooth this airbrush is working. Like I said, this is the customer's airbrush who purchased it last week. And so it took me that long to make sure that everything is working perfectly and making sure the air valve is perfect. All those elements have to be right on the money. And not only that, it works good up close, it works good far away. See, I can go in there, tight detail with that nostril. Which is really fantastic. I'm telling you, it's really definitely worth it. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's $149. Get a airbrush that is hand tested by a professional, making sure that it gets the detail that I use every day, every week in my live streams, my commissions, everything. So I think that's just a win-win situation. And so let's do something. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the eye so I can show you some of the wonderful detail capabilities of this airbrush. And so of course this is a small head. It's only like 5 inches, if that. And we're just going to go ahead and work on that detail. Notice no spidering because I have the pack valve in here. Some of the inherent qualities of the Xtreme Patriot Arrow. So you see the detail that you're able to do. So like I said, go to paintedglyphs.com and there's a link in the description for the airbrush. Like I said, I have 6 left to sell. And after that, I won't have them available for a while until I get more parts from Badger. So if you have the means, if you're in the market for a new airbrush, you are not going to be sorry with this airbrush, trust me. It's going to give you custom micron type detail. And how do I know that? Because I'm showing you all right now that you're getting custom micron type detail. And so what you do on one eye, you go ahead and do on another eye, on the other eye. So we'll move over to here. And we'll work on this eye right now. Like I said, the reason why I customize it because I can take an amazing airbrush like the Badger Xtreme Patriot Arrow and I can customize it to accentuate and amplify its strengths, such as the needle coming out of the nozzle, to amplify that, to give more detail, to give more control. And when you're starting out, everyone wants control. And you know what? Control definitely starts with a good airbrush. If you have a good airbrush, control is a lot easier to get, you know? And so it's so important to make sure that, you know, if you have an airbrush that's going to support your learning process. So this is a great beginner's airbrush, and it's an even better professional airbrush, honestly. Being totally honest here. But like I said, I'm working on, you know, my own painting here, right? This is, so I'm testing out as I would test out anyone's airbrush that purchases from me. I test it out using, working on my painting so it has that ability to hold up to the kind of detail that I demand from an airbrush. And not only that, when it arrives, I really pack it up really well. When it arrives, it's going to arrive in great condition. And you can just see how smooth it is, how the airbrush is doing everything I'm asking it to. So a great teacher once told me, airbrush teacher, that it's not only detail but the ability to sketch. And you can see in an airbrush, that's what I have the ability to do. I have the ability to sketch. Now the Custom Micron sells for like $500, and this airbrush sells for only $149.99 plus $5.99 shipping and handling. This is definitely, you know, I don't know how much longer I could sell these at this price. So definitely, if you're in the market, definitely get it. If you have any questions, instant message me. And that would be paintedglyphs@gmail.com. Let's see if I could get that text here. And let me just push this forward so you all can see it. There you go. paintedglyphs@gmail.com if you have any questions. But as you can see how I'm sketching right now. And that's another hallmark of a really good airbrush, is that you have the ability to sketch. As you can see, I can go very lightly, I can go heavy, I can go detailed, I can work on a background with this airbrush. Now the reason that is because it's a .30. Hey, what's up there, Todd? Good to see you. It's a .30 needle nozzle combination. And you would say, oh, that's not a detailed airbrush, Tim. But there's a secret, which I'm not going to go into, that makes this a detailed airbrush. When, you know, I work with Badger all the time, and Ken introduced me, the head of Badger, and showed me this airbrush and wanted me to test this out. And when I did, I'll tell you, it was just, there was something magical about this airbrush, I'm telling you. So much so, I sold all of my microns, I sold all of my Iwata airbrushes. That's how magical I feel this airbrush is. And that's even before my adjustments, right? That's before my adjustments. So that's what's really wild. And I want to share that with the airbrush community, especially those artists who are trying to get that detail that seems to elude them and don't have the $400 or $500 to spend on a custom micron by Iwata, right? You just don't have that kind of money. So this definitely helps the situation a lot. I mean, really, because you can take the money that you would have spent on a custom micron, and you can take that money and get a better compressor, get some, you know, ultimate set of paints that you're looking at, that you're salivating over, get a good good program, you know, for your um, you know, manipulating your photos before you actually go ahead and paint them, which is very important. I use Krita. Other artists might use Photoshop. Whatever you feel more comfortable with, that's definitely the way to go. And of course, I'm doing this painting on my live streams every Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern Time, and this is just a test painting that I'm doing for this customer. And you can see this customer is going to get a kick butt airbrush. I'm on YouTube, so I can't say the A word, but it is a kick butt airbrush. It is something that, as you see, when this airbrush arrives at a customer, they're going to be very pleasantly surprised. They're going to think, you know, why didn't I have this detail before? Because I didn't have the right tuned up, tested airbrush. And now they will have it. Oh, great. All right, so you're playing with the pack valve. And what, now, Todd actually purchased one of these. And so he actually is enjoying this pack valve over here, which allows you to do micro adjustments of the airflow. So if you're going really close and you want to get tight detail, you have that ability, which is really such a plus, I'm telling you. Really a super, super plus. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on her mouth area here and just get rid of some of these pencil lines. So when you're working on pencil lines, remember pencil lines are like training wheels. When your kid's learning how to ride a bike, you don't take them off before the kid has balance. Same thing. You don't get rid of your pencil lines before you actually don't need them anymore. So that's something that you want to always consider. So I get rid of the pencil lines only when I'm able to feel comfortable enough with the drawing and the painting. And as you see, I'm just sketching in this dark area here of her lip here. And so, you know, like anything else, you know, you have to take your time. You have to, you know, do the 1 second rule, which I preach often. But hey, Chris, how's it going? Good to see you. Yes, definitely. So good to see you, Chris. Just a quick demonstration of the Xtreme Patriot Arrow. And Chris is also a owner of the Xtreme Patriot Arrow as well. So we have 2 owners here of the airbrush, which is great. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate that. And yes, exactly. Set it at 25 psi. Set it and forget it, right? And then adjust that to pack valve, which is great with this airbrush. You have that ability. You don't have to go and continue messing with the air valve at the compressor or even a Mac valve. You don't need to do that, which is just really, you know, it just makes life a lot easier for us as painters. And let me get my mono eraser. Where is that mono eraser? Oh, I found it. Okay, cool. And we're just going to get rid of the training wheels as we are working. And it's really cool. Oh yes, Chris is doing some amazing graphic work with the inks, and that is amazing. So admirer of Chris's work, very much so. as we get rid of the pencil lines, things start cleaning up a little bit. And so in the beginning, we're just sketching, moving around. But remember, don't get rid of those pencil lines before it's time, right? Well, with the pack valve, you want to play with it while the air is down, so you can see what it does, and do that from different distances as well. Very, very important. There we go, and you see we're starting to make it look like Miss Billie Eilish, and I'm really enjoying painting her on the Wednesday night live stream. And you know, it's great to have different aggressive erasers. Some that are, you know, here's an aggressive eraser. It's not too aggressive, but it does do the trick, but it's not too strong. You don't want to have it too strong in the early going. We'll get there, right? We'll get there when we get there. There's no, as I always say, there's no points for speed unless we're race horses, right? That's for sure. Yes, well, with the one hand, so you have the one hand here, and then you just move that valve back and forth, and you'll get the hang of it, sir, definitely. But to have that ability to adjust the pack valve when you are getting up close and you don't want a spider, that makes a big difference, a heck of a big difference. And so yes, you have the ability to sketch, and you have the ability to go in with tight detail, which I do love, definitely. I mean, it's really fantastic. And let's see if I can find my freehand shield. It was around here oh, here we go. And with the freehand shield, what we're going to do is we're just going to accentuate the chin here. So you see, I can go from far away with this airbrush, and I could basically do detail work as well as do broad, larger tones, larger areas of tone. So you see, this airbrush is going to the customer, sending it out today, and they're going to have an airbrush that works absolutely fabulously. Like I said, it's so easy to sell an airbrush that you use yourself, right? I mean, that's an easy sell. That's easy to be a salesman with something that you believe in. And I believe in this, as you can see right now as I'm working. It is just, it's a pleasure to work in, Look at this. This is, I'm having no problems. I'm just basically, my only problem is to, enjoy the painting process. That's my only issue. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what you'll do as well. When you do have an airbrush like this, that's going to do everything you want. There's no blowouts, there's no problems, there's very little tip dry. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. Chris says they will be pleasantly surprised. I appreciate your testimony, sir. Most definitely. And so again, we want to get rid of the training wheels only when you don't need them anymore. So you're going to get rid of some of these pencil lines only after you feel confident that you reiterated the drawing with the airbrush, right? If you get rid of it beforehand, you're just going to have to redraw it. Not that you can't, but you do want the work to go in a pragmatic approach and smooth. So as you can see, I can go to the direction of the hairs of her eyebrow there. same thing here. And right here is a cast shadow of her hair. Oh, great. That's fantastic. Oh, so you did yours on printer paper. Oh, okay. Yeah, and also this paper is really fantastic. This is color line paper by Canson. The company Canson makes it. Not to get mistaken with the pastel paint paper that they use. This is like a cardstock, and it just accepts the ink extremely well. Again, you know, we remove the pencil lines when we're confident that we have reiterated everything with the erasers. There we go. So with this airbrush, if I'm farther away, I could really get soft skin tones and consequently start getting some skin textures, which is really a plus, right? Oh, the sample I sent you, yes. So usually I'll do a sample. Also, I'll do a little sample when I send it to you of just a quick test so you can see exactly, but know that I do a lot more than that little test sheet that I send you. Oh, thanks, Todd. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's better. I think Iwana does little squiggly lines and they give it to you. Like, that's going to really let you know that the airbrush has been tested. But to actually show you like an eyeball or something like that, or part of a portrait, that really is a good feeling. And let's continue working up here. So we had 11 concurrent viewers, which is really good. So welcome to this impromptu live stream. Just basically letting everyone know of this airbrush that I do share with everyone out there, to the airbrush community. And what it is it's a Custom Xtreme Patriot Arrow by Badger. And what I do is not only do I customize it to make it incredible for portraits, but also I test it, like really put it through its paces before it actually gets to you. So everything is really know that, you know, not only is everything tested, if anything wrong, I fix it before it goes out to you. So no surprises, that's for sure. Wow, so you framed it with airbrush in case you be, oh, God, very cool. Hey, Pablo, how's it going? Good to see you. Oh, Pablo, no, unfortunately, I'm not going to be there. But so you're going to go there? So I hear that's a great experience. And that's coming up, right? Oh, I did. Actually, I did have a Q&A with Ken, which was great. And let me see if I could get that for you real quick. I'm going to get you the link, okay? So, let's see. I'm going to get you a link to that video. Yeah, it was great. Ken went over some really fantastic stuff. Asked some really cool questions. And we just had a good time. Ken's a really good friend. Really is. So I'm going to go to my YouTube studio and content, and I should get that for you in 2 sweeps of a lamb's tail or something like that. Let's see. So where is Mr. Ken? Here we go. So here is the video, and I'm going to, okay, great. So going back to my live stream, here is the video that me and Ken talked, and it was almost 2 hours, and Ken was very gracious going over, you know, some really great information pertaining to his really great airbrush company. And Todd says, Tim, you know, he's trying his best to put the airbrush to the test. You really are, you know, and you know that's all you can really ask for yourself. If you give it your all, then that's everything. And you're really growing as an airbrush artist, Todd. I can see that. Because you're putting in the hard work, and that's what we have to do. But we also have to have the right tools, but we don't want to spend $500 for it. When being an airbrush artist, oh, you're very welcome, Pablo. I'm so glad you're here. And so, you know, it's, you know, you want to have the right tool, but you don't want to spend all that money because, number one, paints cost money. My inks cost money. Well, a lot less. My inks cost money. I mean, it's just, you know, you can take that money and, you know, set up your studio better. Get this airbrush and not miss a step. Because this airbrush, like I said, the detail is just as fantastic as the Custom Micron. But, you know, if you're going to save $300, you can take that $300 and really put it for something that's really going to help you as a painter, help your work in the long run. Oh, okay, so Pablo says he might, one of my, oh, wow. Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. So Pablo, yeah, it's available at paintedglyphs.com. If you have any questions, and for a limited time offer, if you do purchase today, like I said, I only have 6 left, I'll draw in a set of my Airbrush India inks. That's the whole set. That's the light mixture, the dark mixture, the medium mixture. And so all that, just if you purchase today, you'll get a set of them at no additional charge. So that's all you have to do is purchase it today, and you know, you already get it. So I'll just make sure that I give that extra out to you all. Again, you know, we only get rid of the pencil lines. Hey, Carlo, how are you? How's everything? Good to see you all the way from Italy. So excited. How's everything? So, Mr. Carlos and I are actually, he is in the process of being one of my students, and he is going to actually work on Sophia Loren with me. He just did a real incredible gladiator that I thought was just out of this world. I really loved it. I thought it was fantastic. So that's cool, you know. So the weather's getting a little bit warmer here, I can see. So how is the, Carlos, how is the weather out there in Tuscany right now? And we're just going to continue here, softening up some edges. Right here, it goes straight up. So, you know, it's good to have an airbrush that has good detail, because it's good to use freehand shields, but if you can't, you can still get really beautiful hard edges. So it's great to see you there, Carlo. It is getting hot here in Jersey, I'll tell you that much. I mean, like 80 degrees, that's hot to me. I don't know about anyone else, but that really kicks my butt. Yeah, that would be great. Go on a plane, Chris, and go check out Italy. Wow, Italy is beautiful. Just the artwork, Florence and Rome. Oh my God, just incredible. Just the richness of the artwork, Carlo, in your country is amazing. Really is. Yes, definitely. Always good to erase as you go, but don't erase too early, right? You want to make sure that you take your time. Hey, Super Killer, how's it going? Good to see you. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes doing it a second time, you're aware of it. So Super Killer asked me, is it easier when you do it a second time? I think so, because it's like a review, right? So you've done it before, so definitely second time around is always easier. That's for sure. And it's just fun doing it a second time, you know, it's kind of like revisiting, right? It's really is great. So when I went ahead and did the necklace last time, I didn't go as much detail, but I might go a little bit more detail doing it the second time around. So let's go ahead and work in. So if I was to zoom in there, you can see the control that we do have, which is great. Oh, great. So yes, so that wonderful picture that you're painting, definitely, yeah, I agree with your mom. Frame that, because that's coming out just super fantastic. It really is. So you can see the amount of detail, the precision that I can get with this airbrush. And I could lower the pack valve so I don't experience or lessen the experience of any kind of spidering. Because when you get into tight detail like this, you're going to get spidering, but you can lower this in the pack valve, which is really fantastic. And let's go ahead and work over here so you can see. Now, a lot of times people will use a freehand shield here or a mask, but when you have tight detail, you really don't need it, as you can see. And like you said, I can lower that pack valve, and I could lessen the amount of spidering that I get. Just effortless detail, right? That's what you really experience with the Xtreme Patriot Arrow, that effortless detail. Yes, that's true. As long as you hear the air, you're good. That's exactly it, you know? Carlos says he can hear me, but he can watch the... So, oh, you can't hear me, but you can watch the video. Oh, I'm in a place where... Oh, okay, no problem. It's great that we can get this kind of detail, though, isn't it? It's really fantastic that we can just And of course, first we get the lines, and then we worry about the little highlights in the chain. But you see, I'm nailing those lines almost immediately, and that's what the customized Xtreme Patriot Arrow. Like I said, I'm using a customer's airbrush. So when you purchase an airbrush from me, not only do I test it out myself, but I also work for like a half hour with it. So if it's not to my standards, it doesn't get sent out to you until it is. And if it's defective for whatever reason, I don't send it to you and I don't fix it. You know, I make sure if it's defective, it doesn't go out to a customer. I think I'm the only person that actually tests an airbrush out to this extent before I send it out, which I think is quite unique and just circumvents any kind of headaches that one might get when they do purchase an airbrush. You know, just to have that peace of mind that this is going to work every time is really fantastic. And as you can see, as I zoom out, you know, the necklace is done, which is fantastic. And you see, I can also do tight detail and then sketch as well, which to me is the double threat, right? It's the perfect combination. And we're just going to continue sketching here, sketching the hair. And so, you know, with the augmentation or the addition of the pack valve, lowering the air pressure, my India inks, as you can see, just a little ink lasts a long time because you're not wasting paint, or you're not wasting ink, which is fantastic. So for $149, you get an airbrush, to me, that you're going to hit the ground running with it. You're not going to have to mess with it. You're not have to get used to it. It's already going to be fine-tuned. The needle's going to be polished. The pack valve is going to have a spring to it to give it more exact precision in adjusting the air. All those things just add up to a very, very great airbrushing experience. So as you can see, it's just a pleasure, you know. So Todd said that he was talking to John the other day, one of my students, when you were going to start another pick. He didn't know what you were doing. Yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't tell anyone. So on the live stream is when, you know, when I start a new live stream portrait, it's no one knows. Not even me most of the time. So, you know, we have the tight detail part, we have the sketching part. It all comes together, but you have this airbrush, the Xtreme Patriot Arrow, which can do both. It can give you the really beautiful tight detail. Like I said, this is the airbrush that's going to my customer. You know, they purchased it. It's going to be shipping to it's going to be shipping internationally, and they only paid $5.99 for it, which is incredible. So just really beautiful, and you know, it's made by Badger, but it's customized by myself. So it takes everything from the original Xtreme Patriot Arrow, and what I do is I basically take its strengths and I accentuate it by putting a different needle in, by putting a different trigger, by putting a spring at the pack valve to give you more precision, and all those different things, and also a backing so you have a better better access to the needle if you have tip dry or anything like that, which is rare with my India inks, but you have much better access. So basically, when you see a lot of those Iwata guys and they have the backing off of the airbrush when they're using the extreme with their custom micron, is because they don't have access. But I actually devised this backing where you have access to that needle 1, 2, 3, which to me is key, which is really key to having a airbrush session that's going to just be fun. It's going to be productive. You're not messing with the airbrush of, you're not wrestling it to get the detail, which is not, other airbrushes are not designed to do. This one is designed to get precise detail. So I wanted to share that with you. Like I said, I have 6 left, and I'm still selling them at $149.99. And believe it or not, that's really $5.99 shipping and handling. I don't know how long I can continue with that, but as a special today, a Sunday special, if you do purchase this airbrush today, you will get a free set of my Airbrush India inks, which I'm working on today. So it's just a really a good value today. Like I said, I have 6 left, and if I could sell all 6 and give away free Airbrush India ink sets, I think that would be amazing. And so as I mentioned before, it's great to sketch as we're doing now, as you can see. And you see, I basically worked for I don't know, what has it been, like 45 minutes, and I only filled that ink up maybe a quarter of a way, or even less than that. So the fact is that you have the ability to lower the air pressure with the pack valve. I always shoot at 25 psi, and then from there I adjust the pack valve even lower. And so when you have the ability to go lower pressure, A, you get more detail, but B, which is really fantastic, you use a lot less ink or paint, which is really fantastic. Whenever you replace ink or paint in your airbrush, always remember to test it on a scrap piece of paper before you go into your work, And great. So let's see. We have a couple of things. The light mixture in the dark area also. Yes, in the beginning, you always go light and you gradually go darker, Todd. And dark is when you don't go dark for a while. You take your time. 75% of a painting is in the light mixture. Carlos says, Tim, which is the size of your what is the size of is it the size of the needle? So the needle is a 0.3, but it actually is longer than a normal needle, so it sticks out even further. So that's one of the secrets of the detail. And the air pressure is at 25 psi, Carlo, and which is great. And then, but I always use the pack valve to adjust that. So that really helps. It helps to give control. And right now I'm just going to sketch her hair. Oh, let's get some detail. So how I get detail is I zoom in and then I focus after I zoom. So let's see. So here we are. So now we can focus. There. Let's see if I could. There, that's much better. So let's see if I can sell all 6 today and give away, which I love giving away, a full set of my Airbrush India inks, which is great. And so I want to be giving today sort of like Christmas in May, right? So definitely, if you're in the market anyway, this is definitely the airbrush to get. And always the 1 second rule. So you look a second, then you paint for a second. That's always so important. Make sure. And the great thing is I'm painting with, a pencil drawing underneath. So it erases just so beautifully. And like I said, you get rid of the lines only after you don't need them anymore. So be very slow with getting rid of those pencil lines. I mean, how many companies actually will test out the airbrush this thoroughly? So when I'm done, doing the tests with this airbrush for the customer, I will make sure that it's nice and clean, packed up in bubble wrap, and in perfect condition to arrive. But more importantly, it's going to do exactly what they wanted to do. There we go. And my airbrush is the perfect combination if you want to work tight detail, and work small, do some really beautiful detailed work, beautiful portraits, beautiful eyes. As you can see how you can just sketch, which to me is a hallmark of a great airbrush, is that you can do both incredible detail and sketch at the same time. Oh, Chris says, when's Ken gonna put from Badger put a name on a line of airbrushes? That would be great, definitely. I hope that happens one day, Chris. Because I really do love Badger products. They're just such a great company and a great owner, and all the people, the employees there are just so fantastic. So, it's not only the product, but who's behind the product, which is important. And I have to say, Badger is just an incredible company to work for, and the customer service, I mean, Ken, sometimes answers, customer emails, which is incredible. How many CEOs and owners do that in corporations? Not many, I can tell you, and I've been in corporate before, so I know. As you see how just slowly we're still in the light mixture, but look at the detail I was able to get, with this airbrush. Just really, really nice. And we're still in the light mixture, and we're just going to very slowly build up with the light mixture into the medium mixture. Oh, definitely get that pastel. Yeah, the people in the pastel world take notice of, of how far, I've come with the airbrush, right? I was a very renowned pastel painter before I even took up the airbrush about 10 years ago. And I just, thrown the gauntlet down. I just wanted to learn this medium because it was just so much fun. And everyone, even if you're here, you know how much fun the airbrush is. It really is just a blast to learn and use, isn't it? Oh, just the light mix. Well, the light mix is great, but it just goes well when you want to do a fully realized painting. You have the light and then the medium mixture and then the dark mixture, how they all just come together, right? And with these, of course, you don't have to mix any medium, you don't have to dilute them. They come out absolutely perfect for the airbrush. You're not going to have any clogging. You're going to have very little tip dry. And you just know, like when you put light mixture in, it's for the light areas, right? And you put the dark mixture in, you know that's for the dark accents, right? So yeah, but it's definitely good for all of them. Yes, exactly, Carlo. The 1 second rule or the 2 second rule, which is, look for 2 seconds, then paint for 2 seconds. Exactly. The 2 second rule, Carlo, is perfect. And let's zoom in on her eyes a little bit. And let's see if I can show you some nice detail action here. Let's see. So you can see the detail that we're able to get in this eye. These fine lines. And that's with this airbrush. And of course, this is a customer's airbrush that I'm using. This is how I'm testing it. So this customer is going to get an airbrush, as every customer, that it's going to do this. So when you receive it, it's going to be no surprises. And oh, thank you. Chris says that my inks are awesome. I appreciate it. It's with you guys in mind. It's what I use. So I'm always happy to share that with you. And so Carlos says his harder and Steenbeck Infinity 0.15, 20 psi. I would go 20 psi is okay. That's fine. But I would go with 25 just in case you need a little extra power. If you have a Mac valve on your harder and Steenbeck, that would work, no problem. As you can see, we can do eyelashes. Custom micron type detail. See that? $149. Unheard of. Really. Just unheard of detail for $149. And like I said, I believe in the product. I use the product. And like I said, this is going to be a customer's airbrush, right? And hey, what's up there? How are you, Hiramahi? Good to see you. So cool you're here. So thank you so much. Yes, Billy's eyelashes, exactly. But I want you to see the eyelashes that we can get, which is just wonderful. Custom Micron, eat your heart out. You know, a lot of Iwata users are like, wow, did I really need to spend all that money for a custom Micron? I could have had Tim's airbrush for $149. Well, you know, if I would say, hey, Juan Carlos, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Juan Carlos is a proud owner of the Xtreme Patriot Arrow as well, my customized version. So good to see you, sir. Always, always, always. And so, and let's move on over to her other eye, and we'll do some detail there as well. So, let's see. So, right there. And let's make this happen, guys. And we'll go from this side down. Such beautiful detail that we can get, you know? It's really great. Like you said, if you're in the market for an airbrush, you're not going to get a demonstration like this just to see its capabilities. And so, you know, definitely think about getting one of these custom Xtreme Patriot Arrows. Oh, thank you so much. So Juan Carlos says he's enjoying working with the Xtreme Patriot Arrow. He loves it. And thank you so much for your testimony, sir. I appreciate that. And as I was saying, I have 6 remaining. And once those 6 are sold, it'll be a little bit while before they're available again. So, you know, go ahead and claim your one of the 6, right? I would. Just beautiful detail. And remember, when, oh, so he says he never used the Xtreme Patriot Arrow, but it intrigues. I'm telling you, perfect English, Hira. Just incredible of the detail that we're able to get, you know. And what's really wonderful is it's only $149 US, and I only charge, it only is, believe it or not, $5.99, $5.95 shipping worldwide. And I have customers over there in Europe, in Italy, in Poland, Bosnia, England. I mean, it's really becoming an international thing. You know, the users, Germany. I have a great German artist who uses it. We have an artist who purchased it in Sweden. So yeah, I mean, take advantage of only, you know, that real little price of the international shipping. And I think that's great. Because I know how much it costs to ship something. Sometimes they'll charge you like $100 for shipping, right? And that's not worth it. So Carlo asks, why don't I use white paper? And the reason I use tinted paper is because tinted paper actually, you can add white to it to give it more detail. So it actually helps in the long run when you have the white, right? It really does make a big difference when you start coming in with the white because you already have that gray, which is just fantastic. So if I zoom out, you'll see the more detail that we have. So you see that, which is coming out really well. So I'll show you an example of one of my paintings that has the white. So as you can see, when you add the white to the gray, you get like much beautiful added detail, which you didn't have before. And right here, this is one also that I did on the tinted paper. So you have the gray of the paper, the dark of the ink, and then the white that just makes it pop. So that's that's the main reason why I like working with the tinted paper, which is really cool. And so right now we are at, let me see, so we've been on now for an hour. So we're going to be on just for a little while longer because I have to clean this airbrush, ship it out, and get it to my customer, and it's an international customer. So you know this customer is going to be happy when this airbrush arrives. And you know I'm going to make sure I pack it really well because I'm not doing all this work, you know, all this testing to have it damaged in shipping. So I use extra bubble wrap and, you know, make sure it's packed correctly, all that stuff. And let's see. Oh, Juan Carlos says, beautiful collection of paintings. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Here it says, amazing artwork, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, you've been following my Instagram. I really appreciate that, Hira. Thank you so much. And so, Carlo wants me to zoom in. So let me zoom in a little bit. Let's zoom in on her lips here. Let's work on her lips. Okay, so we're going to work on her lips here. Let's see. And then we'll just use our eraser here to get more of the contours here. So we're always drawing, we're always working, we're always adjusting. You know, you want to have a strong line drawing to begin with, but you know, while you're doing that, you want to make sure that you at least make any adjustments as you need to. And then we can come in. go. And you can see how I just sculpt that mouth, right? Which is really good. Here it says that they love the monochromatic illustrations, but their skills, oh, no, well, you'll get there, you know, you'll get there. You just have to keep practicing. And here it says that unfortunately they made a mistake of focusing too much on airbrushing fishing lures for the past 5 to 6 years, and now it's starting to scratch for the second time. Oh, that's okay. You know, just keep practicing, keep, you know, taking your skills to the next level, and getting a good airbrush like this really does help. Trust me, it really makes a big difference. So, you know, keep practicing, and, you know, and always try and get some good tips from some good artists. That is really very helpful here. And once again, we're going to use our eraser to get rid of those pencil lines, right? Because like I always say, you know, the pencil lines are like training wheels. Hey, what's up, Lee? How's it going? Yes, I thought I'd give an interesting, you know, time zone, you know, for my UK peeps and Europeans. So great to see you, Lee. How you been, sir? There we go. And of course, this is like a test painting, you know, for the airbrush that I just built for a customer. But you can come every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern Time, and you could see my live streams. And currently, the last few weeks and the next few weeks, we'll be working on this painting of Billie Eilish. So definitely. So Lee is doing okay. Not done any painting, but a doodle just to pick up the airbrush. That's great, you know. Whenever you're working with the airbrush, it's always a plus, even if it's just dagger strokes or what have you, you know. It all adds up. All those hours that you work is always fantastic. So, you know, always, it's in the bank, right? Whenever you practice or you're painting, it's in the bank. And think of it that way. You're making a deposit of your future as an airbrush artist. Oh, thank you. Juan says that the painting is looking good. Well, I definitely appreciate that, sir. And we can zoom out. And there she is. And just little by little, she'll come together. Always with that 1 second rule. Everything looks dark right now, but it's just because, you know, everything else is so light. That's what's causing it to look like that. And if I want like subtle little gradations of the light and dark on her, I'll just go very slowly and work from a further distance. So with this airbrush you can do tight detail, you can sketch, you can pretty much do it all. And then, you know, like I said, you know, once you feel like the You got the line down, you reiterated it with the, with the airbrush, then you can come in and start, getting rid of those pencil lines. So Todd says if he hits an area with the white that is supposed to be dark, no, because, well, yes, you only want to use the white mixture in the very, very beginning. You're not going to use this only in the first stages. Do you use the white, but never again. If you would only want to go with the light mixture in the first 75% of the painting. And the reason being, with the light mixture, you're able to sketch like as if it was a pencil sketch. And then I would say like 75% when you're done getting all the textures and the detail, then you can slowly come in with the medium mixture. And that you could reiterate the darks and everything like that. But the medium mixture is really important. And it's not until the end of the painting is when you come in with the dark mixture. And that's, oops, I got ink under my fingernails. That's not exactly very attractive. Sorry about that. And let's go ahead and focus. Okay. And so, little by little, we're just gonna, and notice how I work the whole painting, right? I'm not working on an eye and coming over here and going over there. Is moving around a lot, right? Which is very, very important. Very important to move around. Because as John Augusto Dominique Angela said, you want to paint the ensemble, not a bunch of parts, but the whole thing at one time. So Lee says the light mixture still goes quite dark. It can, right? But it looks dark. But once you come in with that medium mixture, it just makes it pop, right? Because it takes many, many layers to go with the light mixture. But yeah, you can get some really nice mid-tones with the light mixture, very astutely, definitely. So thanks for that comment. Hey Willie, how's it going? Good to see you. How are you? So Willie is one of our regulars on the Wednesday night live stream for over 4 years. So I appreciate that so much, Willie. Yeah, I just made this Xtreme Patriot Arrow for a customer. I'm about to ship it out and I was testing it. And I just said, why don't I just show how I test the airbrush to you guys, right? And to my subscribers and people who are on the fence and ready to buy a new airbrush. This is just a great opportunity to share that, which is, so every airbrush that I do make, of course, Willie owns one of my customized Xtreme Patriot Arrows, and he does great work, and so I'm so proud and honored that he uses the Xtreme Patriot Arrow. And oh, great! So I'm so glad that I'm able to do something, just an impromptu live stream. Just maybe Sundays get a little boring, So Willie says it's an awesome brush. Thank you. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you so much. So you see, as I increase the distance, I can get really gradated value. What happens is, as you go further and further away from the surface, so here's the surface, and so think of the cone being very small, but as the airbrush comes further away, the cone gets bigger, and the particles of paint or ink get bigger, and you get more gradations and less of any harsh edges or something like that, which is great. So it's like really controlling that. We really have to control the distance as well as everything else, the air pressure and the distance. Those are the two main things, the viscosity. Well, that's the great thing about the Airbrush India inks. You don't have to worry about, it's going to come out perfect right from the bottle into the airbrush and onto your painting. You never have to add, dilute, any kind of reducers or mediums. Leave that for the other guys. This is just so much easier, and all you have to do is paint. And coupled with this particular airbrush, it's just a great system. It really is. If you want that added detail, it's really going to make a big difference. And just really, sort of change that learning curve to in your favor, which I think is great. And of course we have to darken this side of her face here. Juan Carlos says, great way of testing a customer's airbrush is on a real piece of art. That's exactly it, Juan. I think I'm the only one out there who actually tests an airbrush by doing something on my work. And so this way, it's by my standards, the detail that I have. If I wouldn't use this airbrush as my only airbrush, I wouldn't sell it. So, and the fact is that everything is fine-tuned to work perfectly the second the customer gets it, right? The second that, the artist has it, they're just ready to go, and it ships to the UK, Europe, Australia, Canada, United States, all for $5.99, which is unheard of. Interesting. Carlo has a good question. Are there colored India inks? They are, but they're not of this quality because this is like totally mixable. It's waterproof, yet you can erase it. But the colored airbrush India inks don't have that quality. You can't erase it well. It's very thick. It doesn't dilute well. But this stuff is perfect. So I usually use these as a fully realized work of art, like a black and white painting. And also you can use this as an underpainting for a pastel or an airbrush, like the Cressai method, which is really good. So I'm going to paint until 5:30. And so like I said, today if you purchase the Xtreme Patriot Arrow, you will get a free set of my Airbrush India inks. And like I said, I only have 6 airbrushes left right now. So, if you're one of the 6, you'll be able to take advantage of that. And I'll make sure I'll test it. And that it's going to be working just like this. I mean, the tightest detail, look at those eyelashes. Just really wonderful. Just let that dry just a little bit and come in here. Billie Eilish has such a great face. I mean, very expressive, very moody. Those are people I love to paint. As anyone knows my art, I love that sort of femme fatale look. So there's a link in the description where you can actually purchase this airbrush, and I also sell other products. But if you buy this airbrush today, you will get a set of the airbrush and the inks. Like I said, I only have 6 left. So, you know, and so if I sell the 6, then I can get into ordering more parts, so I could start, you know, offering more to other customers, other artists. See, now we're starting to get that beautiful dark edge. Always make sure you wipe off your freehand shield. And of course now I could come in and adjust some colors here, some value I should say. And let's see. Just want to make sure I get that turning of her lip over there, which is very important to her likeness. And then on this side, there really isn't any value here. It's like a big highlight. So I'm just going to set that up right now with the erasers. You can make sure I begin the light in her nose over here, a little highlight right here. Of course, I'm going to come in with white, but just to indicate that would be really good. Juan Carlos says he loves my inks. So easy to work with, no hassles mixing stuff, concentrate on his efforts. Thank you so much, Juan. Yes, that's a great thing about the inks, right? You don't have to worry about, you know, all that problem, you know, tip dry, stuff like that. It's really, you know, it really is refreshing to just take a bottle, put it in your airbrush, and just paint and start having fun, right? And Hira says he gives up struggling to find good quality cardboard in Italy, but I can't find anything decent at the moment that also holds up to erasing techniques. Yes, this is really good. It's by Canson. It's the it's color line paper by Canson, and it is really fantastic. I sell 5 sheets for like $5, and that's the 8.5 by 11 size. If you can't get it, I can get that out to you. So yes, if they don't have that, De La Rowney makes a Canford cardstock, which is really good. I think it's available in Italy and in the UK, but not in the United States. And that's made by De La Rowney. So those two are very good for erasing. So if you can't find color line paper by Canson, let me know, and we'll figure out how to get it out to you, sir. Get it out to you, Simone. Hira, are you a gentleman or a lady? I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely De La Rowney is the Canford cardstock really fantastic, or the color line by Canson. Both are amazing. And I do carry the color line paper on my website, which is paintedglyphs.com. So not bad, you know, for an impromptu live stream. I had 11 concurrent people, which is great. And so I really do appreciate that. Yes, exactly. So here are you, yes, a guy or a girl. But your English is really good. You have great English. So I really, you know, you and Carlo both. Oh, okay. Good to see you, sir. So nice to meet you here. Italian male. And Carlos is very good with his English as well. So great to meet Carlo. Great to have the you know, some of the very talented Italian artists come onto the live streams. It's an honor. And Willie says, you have one last airbrush, and I have, wow, Willie, thank you so much. Now, Willie, for you, you have this smaller one. I have one of these that I could get you to go perfect with the one you already have. So let me know which one you want, okay? So, and I'll definitely throw in some inks and some other really good surprises for you, Willie. Thank you so much. Wow, so 5 left, guys. 5 big brushes left. So as you can see how long I've been painting with just a little bit of ink. So guys, so we hit the 5:30 mark, and so, oh great, and I do have one in stock, and so you are the proud owner of the one I have in stock, and I'll get out to you ASAP. So we hit 5:30, actually we're not at 5:30 yet. So once again guys, this is the Xtreme Patriot Arrow. This is a customer's airbrush I've been working with. And as you can see, it's fine-tuned. It has all the bells and whistles to make this airbrush that is a detailed powerhouse. And so fantastic. So I only have 5 left. Willie bought one of them. And so today is a special, a free set of the Airbrush India inks with that. And oh, a 3D printer, those are great. That's going to help your artwork. So great going there, Lee. So guys, it is 5:30. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. Willie, Carlo, Hira, Lee, Juan Carlos. Let's see who else we have here today. Chris is here, which is great. Todd, Carlo, of course, Super Killer. So it was great to see you. So I think that was everyone here. You know, wasn't a lot of people. Raul, good to see you. Thank you. Hit that like button. You know, every one of you are important to me, and you know, you encourage me, and it's not easy being a one-man show, but you know, with people like you in my corner, you really make a difference. I hope you guys, Juan Carlos, adios. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you Wednesday night, 9:30 Eastern Time. Take care, everyone.